Everybody say bye, Spoofy. And then we're gonna get right on into Twig. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Twig, your weekly geekly family-friendly news show that tackles everything from a full Gamescom recap to a Slime Rancher movie with some games thrown in between. If you're listening on the podcast, please be sure to give us a good review, click that like on YouTube, or come and listen live on Twitch every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. As we always start this show with, we're going to start it off with our welcome of what did you watch, what did you play, what did you read this past weekend. So in the chat, if you're watching live, go ahead and answer that question. What did you watch? What did you play? What did you read this past weekend? If you're watching later on the VOD over on YouTube, first off, hi YouTube. We're glad that you're here. Let us know down in the comment section down below. What did you watch? What did you play? What did you read? I have just finished watching the 200-hour Let's Play of Persona 5. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know why I do these things, but I did, and here I am. And I'm on the other side of that. And now I am watching an Ace Attorney Justice for All Let's Play. I will watch pretty much anyone that will play Ace Attorney. If you will play Ace Attorney, I will come watch it because it is my favorite game to watch people play. I love getting to see their experiences, and I also just really love getting to hear the music in the background whenever I'm playing games or whatever I'm doing while watching. I just started reading the audiobook for Sword Art Online, the 9th volume. I can't believe they're already up there with that Bryce Papenbrook reading. And I have been playing pretty much nothing but Baldur's Gate 3. I'm also playing my daily games. So I play Wordle every morning, which we have a Wordle Golf League over in the Discord. And then I also play Mini Metro. Those are my 2 morning games that I, drink coffee and enjoy that. And then Baldur's Gate 3, I think I'm almost 30 hours in and still in the first act. I'm really trying to experience the side quests. I think I know what the sermon's going to be about at this point. I'm sure we're going to have a nerdy sermon on it, so it'll just take time. Let's turn to the chat and see what you guys are playing. Eat the Boot says Avatar: The Last Airbender. Deacon Shannon is watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the newish version with your niece. Very fun. Cam says Persona 5 hype. That's right. It's a long Let's Play to watch, but if somebody's willing, here's the thing. If you're willing to play the entire game of Persona 5 on a stream, you deserve to be supported for that length of gameplay. Deacon played Castles of Burgundy. Mayfly is playing BG3, reading in BG3 and watching cutscenes in BG3. Loving it. Shannon says, reading audiobook of The Art of Gathering. Very good. Art of Gathering is a wonderful book. Just played my 35K game of ARAM in League of Legends. I don't know what ARAM is, but that's very cool. Sneaky is playing BG3 in Power Wash Sim, reading Upgrade by Blake Crouch, and watching Critical Role. And then he says Remnant 2 is so good. It just started. I'm hearing good things, so we'll see. All right, well, thank you for dropping in the chat all of those wonderful things, but we're going to get into some good old-fashioned news stories. So first off, it turns out that X is not, in fact, going to give it to you. Blocking, that is. They're not going to give you the ability to block people. Apparently, Elon Musk, the owner of the social media platform now known as X, formerly Twitter, has announced the forthcoming removal of the block button as a feature on the platform. Responding to a query about the reasons one would block or mute someone, Musk revealed that the blocking feature will soon be deleted as a feature, but will still be available for direct messages. He reasoned that the block feature makes no sense. Many users utilize the block button to prevent interactions from spam or bot accounts and unwanted individuals. The mute feature will remain, allowing users to avoid seeing posts from muted accounts, but does not prevent those accounts from following, messaging, or interacting with them. The decision has led to speculation that Musk aims to serve more ads since users can't block advertisements. This change follows several others that Musk has implemented since acquiring the platform in 2022, including rebranding Twitter to X, sunsetting legacy verified checkmarks, introducing tweet editing, and making verification a paywalled feature. I'm sure nothing will go wrong with removing block. Yeah, people use block for what it's intended to do. I'm sure, here's the thing. I've never blocked anyone on any of the social medias, but it does feel like a strange choice. I did read something recently, and I haven't verified this at all, and the article didn't bring it up, that supposedly the Google Play Store and the Apple Store both require that there is the ability for people to essentially block other accounts in a social platform. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I guess maybe since the argument is that it can still be done in DMs, that Musk will be fine. I have a feeling that, I mean, X or Twitter is such a behemoth of an entity. They're able to skirt around the kind of rules that they need to. But we'll see where this continues to go in the ever continuing. It feels like ever since we started Twig, every time we start talking about anything, it always comes back to Twitter and X, Elon Musk, and then Microsoft and Activision. Hey, speaking of Microsoft Activision, Microsoft's titanic buyout of Activision Blizzard faces a new twist with Ubisoft, not Ubisoft. I would never say Ubisoft. I would always say Ubisoft, entering the mix. Could this be the formula to change cloud gaming forever? Microsoft has resubmitted a deal to acquire Activision Blizzard after the original deal was blocked by the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, or the CMA. The CMA had concerns about the impact on cloud gaming competition. To address these concerns, Microsoft has now signed an agreement with Ubisoft, which allows Ubisoft to purchase the cloud streaming rights for Activision Blizzard games released over the next 15 years, excluding the European Economic Area. Microsoft's president Brad Smith believes the revised deal addresses the CMA's concerns and has requested a fresh review. The CMA will launch a new inquiry ending on September 1st, with a decision expected by October 18th. Piers Harding Rolls, an industry analyst, describes this development as unexpected and radical, impacting the attractiveness of Ubisoft's subscription service. Now, I personally am not on that subscription service. I don't see myself signing up for Uplay anytime soon. I don't really play their games, but this is an interesting little movement. I'm starting to notice more and more that Microsoft and Ubisoft are like real buddy-buddy. They're getting real buddy-buddy, and I don't know what that's going to turn into. I don't know if maybe after Activision, that's who Microsoft is going to turn to next to purchase. I don't think that will happen, but maybe. It definitely seems like something is going on there, and maybe we have a future ahead of us that's going to have an even further, it would be an even further mega corp thing. So yeah, I don't know what we're going to see having happened, but it's going to be weird. All right, next up. From farming slimes in the gaming world to the silver screen, will Slime Rancher's charm ooze its way into the hearts of moviegoers? The beloved sandbox game Slime Rancher, created by Monami Park, is getting a movie adaptation through a collaboration with Story Kitchen. The game, released in 2017, boasts a 98% rating on Steam and has sold over 6 million copies, subsequently leading to a sequel, Slime Rancher 2. The game's simple premise involves players capturing and cultivating slimes on alien planets to earn profits. Details on the film's production are sparse, but it's known that Story Kitchen, founded by John Wick creator Derek Kolstad and others, is involved. The company is also working on TV adaptations of Tomb Raider and Splinter Cell. I don't know if any of you have ever played Slime Rancher before. It's a lot of fun. I remember whenever it first came out and was really in that early access phase, I had a bunch of time in college, and so I played quite a bit of it. It was fun. It was cute. I never got around to Slime Rancher 2, but I think that the story is neat enough that we'll see. We'll see where it continues to go, and if they continue making more movies out of video games. I think it would be a very cute show, actually. I think it would probably make an okay movie, but probably a pretty cute show. I think they could do something with it. Maybe even a kid's show would be kind of fun if they're able to make it irreverent enough and funny enough and get the right writers behind it. It could be something pretty interesting. So I don't know. We'll see where that one continues to develop, but I thought that any of those Slime Rancher fans out there who enjoyed that game might be curious to know that they're going to be getting a little bit more love in the near future. Next up, Mario's set for a new adventure and a new voice, but can the gaming world ever truly say goodbye to the legendary Charles Martinet? Charles Martinet, the original voice behind Nintendo's iconic character Mario, will no longer be voicing the beloved plumber in the upcoming game Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Although Nintendo has yet to announce who the new voice will be, the company has honored Martinet by designating him a Mario ambassador. Martinet has voiced Mario and other Nintendo characters like Luigi and Wario since 1991, will feature in a special video alongside Shigeru Miyamoto. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is slated for an October 20th, 2023 release date, marking the first new 2D Mario adventure in over a decade, introducing fresh gameplay, such as Wonder Flowers and a transformation where Mario becomes an elephant. So we'll see what the Mario Ambassador looks like. I don't know what that means. I've never heard of a Mario Ambassador, but neat. I mean, sure. I'm excited for Wonder. I'm sad that Charles Martinet doesn't seem to be behind the voice, but I mean, people get older and they got to move on and move into new jobs and new positions, and it seems like that has happened and entered into a new space of retirement. I can't wait for the Tell All podcast where Charles Martinet just absolutely dives into the nasty nitty gritty behind the scene. Maybe it's Charles Martinet and Reggie Fils-Aimé talking about Nintendo and all the hard times they had. I can't wait for that kind of expose to officially hit the field, but we'll see. Sneaky says Chris Pratt's voice is now canon. Perry lifted up Gilbert Gottfried. Unfortunately, we would. He has definitely passed, so I don't know if Gilbert would be able to do it, but maybe an AI voice of Gilbert would be problematic enough to bring into the field. We'll talk more about that during our To the Discord segment. And then Elephant Mario hype, indeed. I'm looking forward to it October 20th. October is already a pretty jam-packed game month, but hey, I'm here for all the games. I'm here to keep getting into it. So now we are going to go into our Gamescom recap. If you were with us a little while ago, which was at around 2 o'clock when Gamescom happened, we actually watched it together over on our Discord, !Discord in the chat. We try and do watch-alongs of big events like that and just engage in the chat together. And nobody really hosts it. We just kind of experience the show in a chat together. So if you ever want to do that, we'll make sure to let you know when those things are happening over in the Discord, Discord in the chat. So we're going to go through just all the things that happened as quickly as we possibly can. At one point in the show, we talked about Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder's new movie series. Is it a 2-part movie series? And then also a game that is coming out the movie is coming out in December. The second movie is coming out in April. And a game, I don't think they actually announced when the game is coming out. We got an extremely lengthy look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. It was just the longest trailer anybody's ever seen. We also got a significantly shorter, unfortunately, I wanted to see even more, look into Alan Wake 2. We got to see the announcement for Diablo 4 Season 2, which is called Season of Blood, adding in a new vampire hunter companion. It was a pretty great little trailer, super fun. We got to meet the voice actor behind that, and they announced that it's going to be released on October 17th, which I thought was pretty early. I don't know Diablo's release schedule, so maybe that's not early at all, but that feels like a pretty short time to start a Season 2. I think this might be a response to how many people turned off the game whenever Baldur's Gate released. Mortal Kombat 1, we got to see 2 new fighters in Sindel and General Shao, as well as 2 new cameo characters, Motaro and Shujinko. And we also got to see some more fights in Mortal Kombat 1, which is always delightfully gory. Tekken 8 revealed their release date of January 26, 2024. Assassin's Creed Mirage got a trailer kind of focused on the new characters or not new characters, but the returning old characters and the new focus on the scene. We got to see a new look at Cyberpunk 2077 2.0. They have completely revamped the UI as well as the upgrade capacity of that game. So we got to see a little look at Phantom Liberty, but most of it we got to just see some of the upgraded features and factors. I'm super excited for more Cyberpunk. The thing that really got my gears going was vehicle combat. I'm super excited for vehicle combat. I loved Cyberpunk, and I can't wait to see what happens with that. Sonic Superstars got a release date, October 17th, 2023, which may sound familiar for somebody that have been paying attention to Super Mario Brothers Wonder, don't know what they're thinking. Sonic Frontiers, we got another look at the final horizon. Nothing really new coming out there, but just the new update with the new characters and all sorts of things there. Quantic Dream announced Dustborn, which looked pretty cool. I was here for it. It didn't look like a Quantum Dream game, but it did actually look a lot like a Road 96 game. That was something that Mayfly and I were talking about. So I'm down for it. I love narrative-driven games, so I'll probably end up experiencing it. We also got a delightful look at a game called Thank Goodness You're Here, which I didn't realize at the time, but this is actually made by the same developers of the Untitled Goose Game, which is a game that I didn't particularly get into, but this one had a wacky little like hand-drawn art style to it that I thought looked absurdly fun, and I enjoyed every minute of it, and I can't wait to play it. Little Nightmares 3 was announced with a trailer about some of the co-op that's coming to that game. Got to see another look at Black Myth Wukong, which is, I don't know if it has a date. I don't know if it has a release date even still, but we'll eventually see what that Souls-like game is all about. Marvel Snap did a official launch. They've been in early access forever, but they did an official launch as well as a pretty big shift to their Steam capability. So now you can play Marvel Snap on PC. Medieval Fighter Warhaven got a release date. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink got a February release date. Nightingale got another look at the early access release date in February 22nd, 2024. Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, is a driving sim game. Stormgate's latest developer update sheds light on the Infernal Host. I've never played Stormgate, but maybe you have. Crimson Desert looked amazing. Crimson Desert was the latest game from Pearl Abyss, and they just showed that you can do everything in this game. It just kept going and going. They were like, and also you can topple structures, and also you can parachute, and also you can have pets, and also you can hijack carriages, and also there's portals, and also there's magic, and also you can, like, it kept going and going. It was very impressive, all they were able to bring into that game. The first 30 seconds I was like, this looks like another fantasy game. I'm not about to get into it. But then by the time that it got to the end of the trailer, I was like, well, I gotta play it just to say I've played it, because this was insane. Bulletstorm VR, we got a little look at that, and then we also got another look at Age of Empire 4's re-release for their anniversary edition over on Xbox Game Pass. Killing Floor 3 looked gross. I have no interest in that. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, got another look at their trailer that's coming out this week. We'll have more on that in a little bit with our upcoming games. The Last Epoch, which was basically, or Epic, I don't know how you say it. I think I say it Epoch. Either way, did get another trailer. I'd never heard of this either. Apparently it's been in early access for a while and is basically RuneScape, and cool. The Crew Motorfest got another trailer. Fort Solace, which is something I had never heard about either, but I think launches today and has some well-known voice actors in it. Lords of the Fallen, we got another look at that. We got a whole Hoyoverse suite of Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, all this kind of Hoyoverse stuff that was interesting. They are really taking over that anime weeaboo MMO scene. Payday 3, we got to see that Ice-T has a heist, a celebrity heist in that game. Delta Force, got another look at it. Homeworld 3, we got to look at that. Mandragora, we got to look at that. Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin, and then Ara History Untold, which is basically another Age of Empires. That is everything that happened at Gamescom opening night live. We will continue to kind of keep our ear to the ground as we hear about more things that are happening in the next week as Gamescom actually continues on. But those are all the big ones and all the exciting things that we found out of opening night live in particular. Let us know if any of those things excited you. I'll turn to the chat real quick to see what we thought about this. Yeah, Rebel Moon's gonna have a lot of slow motion. Season 1 was also not well received. This could be moving past it, I see. So Diablo, well, I would be very curious to know, again, if Diablo 4 moving to Season 2 was a calculated effort, if it was a planned effort. I don't know. It's hard to say with game development whether this was the intention or if they crunched it to catch up to some of the competition. This really is just a cruel year for anybody to make a game because there are so many good games coming out that it's pretty tough. Crimson Desert is basically every game in one. Hopefully it actually plays well and the game has everything. We will see. I want to play it if for no other reason than for the memes. It feels like what Goat Simulator is supposed to play like if it actually like worked. Like it feels like Goat Simulator, but with intention. Does that make sense? That's what I feel like whenever I saw it anyway. So we're going to move on into everybody's favorite segment of the show, which is Cryptic Critiques. That's right, it is Cryptic Critiques. I found real one-star reviews online and put them together into 3 prompts to talk about a real 5-star, exceptional, well-known video game, but I found the worst reviews, highlighted them, and I'm going to be giving them to you to see if you can guess, based off of these reviews, what the game might be. You can guess, or keep it in your head, what you might think this would be based off of the following prompts. Prompt number 1, 1-star review, again, Lame Stereotypes the Game. Lame Stereotypes the Game. That is prompt number 1. So go ahead and just get your brain thinking. Prompt number 2, I used to think this game was awesome. Then I formed a brain and realized how bad this game is. That's prompt number 2. Prompt 3, this game was cooler when I wasn't allowed to play it. All right, anybody have the answer? Any thoughts on what the answer could possibly be? Lame Stereotypes the Game. Used to think this game was awesome, formed a brain, realized how bad this game is. This game was cooler when I wasn't allowed to play it. It is indeed GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. Let me know if you got that one down in the comment section down below, if this was one that you managed to get before that third guess. Now we are going to get into our another favorite segment of the show, to the Discord. have news that comes directly from our Discord or is submitted from you, our viewer and or listener. If you would like to submit your news to Twig, then you can go to bit.ly/DearTwig, DEARTWIG, and submit your news there. Or you can go to our Discord. Even better, we post a prompt every single Monday on our Ask Questions, Get Answers of what news should we know about, and then we comb through it, pick out the best ones, and try and make sure that we get them to your wonderful ears. So either bit.ly/DearTwig or just use our Discord, Discord in the chat here on Twitch, or down in the links below on YouTube or on the podcast. We're going to get into our first piece of news. This is from Perspective. Sega buys Rovio and Telltale buys Flavorworks. Sega, a well-known gaming company, has successfully finalized its acquisition of Rovio Entertainment, the creators of the Angry Birds franchise. The announcement of the completion was made public through Sega's social media channels, expressing their excitement about Rovio joining the Sega group. And then, in other news, Telltale, known for its narrative-driven games, has announced its acquisition of London-based game developer Flavorworks. I don't know what could possibly give them away. They literally spell flavor O-U-R, so yeah, they're obviously in London. Flavorworks is recognized for its cinematic games like Erica, Hush, Crane, and Cuttlefish, and owns the innovative touch video technology, enabling responsive video interactions across different platforms. This acquisition reflects Telltale's dedication to merging the worlds of film and game and expanding their reach to new platforms and audiences, especially after its relaunch by LCG Entertainment. So, interesting stuff, especially considering that Telltale, shut down and then kind of had a little bit of a rebirth and has figured things out again and is now making games, not only making games, but acquiring studios, which means hopefully not making more games, but making better games with the team that they're acquiring through these acquisitions. We'll see what their kind of crunch schedule looks like and how they continue to develop their games, but I am hopeful that this is a rebirth of Telltale and that we'll see even more narrative games that are well founded and well crafted from the ground up. Another one from Perspective. High Rise Studios, known for their game Smite, has updated its voice actor contract policies related to the use of generative AI technology in voice work. CEO Stuart Chisholm addressed the changes on social media, countering claims that the studio was using AI to replicate voice acting. The revised contract terms specifically prohibit the company from using AI to emulate an actor's voice or create a synthesized representation of the actor. The older version of the contract did have stipulations allowing the use of AI for voice replication if the voice actor was deceased or incapacitated, but only with the consent of the actor's estate or the actor themselves. So, we'll always see this in the news right now, kind of along with the Microsoft and with the Twitter and X drama. We're going to see AI continue to pop up since the beginning of Twig and continuing on into our second season. This continues to be a heavy conversation, one that we continue to come back to, and we continue to see more and more studios having to figure out what this looks like. I hope that this is another instance of ideally positively moving forward into, at the very least, creating policies that will hopefully be well respected and well revered, especially in the time of the writer's strike right now and then the actor strike going on. This feels like a good move all around. Next up, we have another one from Perry. Roblox is in a lawsuit. Roblox Corporation faces a class action lawsuit alleging that it has facilitated an illegal gambling ecosystem that breaches federal law. Parents have come forward stating that their children have lost money on third-party gambling sites using Roblox's digital currency, Robux. The lawsuit accuses Roblox of several charges, including unfair competition, negligence, and civil conspiracy. 3 virtual gambling websites have been named co-conspirators. Although these virtual casinos operate outside of Roblox's direct environment, users can link their Robux wallets to these third-party sites via Roblox's platform. Roblox has responded by distancing themselves from these third-party sites and stating that they illegally use Roblox's branding and IP. The lawsuit asserts that Roblox has violated several laws, including the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, and emphasizes the company's complicity in fostering a gambling environment aimed at children. Additionally, it has been noted that Roblox had previously faced accusations from the Children's Advertising Review Unit for irresponsible advertising to young audiences. I'm just going to leave that one where we are. I obviously am insanely against gambling. By our faith, we are indeed quite against gambling. We do not support it, especially not illegally, especially not illicit, especially not for children, and especially not under the table. While this is definitely feels like a more nuanced situation than just that, I think I think that as a stance of doing good, we can agree that it is bad to take advantage of children and finances and whatever's going on with this. I don't know what exactly the deal is with why Robux is essentially a cryptocurrency that you can use on third-party sites, but apparently it is, and that's probably the problem. They could nip it in the bud. If they wanted to, if Roblox Corporation wants to end this today, then just don't make Robux available on third-party sites. And there you go. You've done it. You've solved the issue. But I'm sure, as I said, there's more nuance than that, and we will probably not hear any more out of this. I'm sure they'll settle it, and it'll just kind of fade into the background. But this was an interesting thing to have highlighted as we continue to hear about Roblox day in and day out. I'm surprised how much that game comes up on Twig, considering that I have literally never played it or had it installed on my computer. So go figure, but interesting stuff nonetheless. With that, we're going to move into everybody's real favorite part of the show.
At this point in nerd history.
That's right. It is at this point in nerd history. This is everything that was released on this day throughout nerd history. August 22nd, throughout time and space. What are some games and movies and some random fun facts that we've thrown in there? Surprisingly, we actually had to go back pretty far in games. Not many games have been released in the past 10 years on this date. But before that, you get to some pretty exciting ones. So an exciting one, at least for some of us that grew up in the iPhone era. In 2012, the wildly popular game app My Singing Monsters was released on this day. In 2005, Advance Wars Dual Strike and the first 3 Nintendogs games, who had Golden Retriever in the house, are released in America for the Nintendo DS. In 1995, Chrono Trigger was released in America for the SNES. In 1992, Super Mario Kart was released in Japan for the Super Famicom. And in 1987, The Legend of Zelda is released in America for the NES. Very cool video games once you go back in time a little bit, but recently, not too much. Movies that came out on this day in time and space. 2014, the sequel, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, was released. And then 2008, Death Race, in which they race and likely die. Random news, 1998, the Howard Stern radio show premiered on CBS to about 70% of the United States. 1932, the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, began its first TV broadcast in England. So 2 behemoths, I would say. I would say that British Broadcasting Corporation and Howard Stern are honestly pretty comparable in my eyes, and that's pretty interesting to see that those both happened August 22nd throughout time and space. So that has been at this point in nerd history. With that, we're going to move into another favorite segment of the show. That's right. It is upcoming releases for the week. Now, one surprisingly slipped underneath the radar for me. I don't know why, but for some reason I have just not kept. It's probably because I never watched the Star Wars TV shows. And so I have no frame of reference of Asuka and the character. I don't even know if it's Asuka. I hope so. I'm kind of saying it a little like Ghibli, so I don't know, but started today. So I don't know if you've seen the first 2 episodes that I think released today, but if you want to know more, I think she's Anakin's Padawan? Asuka, maybe? Ahsoka. I feel like that's what I said, Asuka. Asuka in the Valley of the Winds. Anyway, that started premiering today. The first 2 episodes, I believe. I don't know if it was the whole season, but I know I've seen reviews, at least for the first 2 episodes. So hopefully you all enjoy that. I'm a bit bought out on Star Wars. I love the movies, and then that's pretty much it. All the movies coming out today. On the 22nd today, Metalocalypse, Army of the Doomstar. I can't believe that Metalocalypse is still a thing that is existing, but it is, and the movie came out today on Adult Swim. 25th, the movie Bottoms, Gran Turismo, the movie Lift, which is coming out on Netflix, a new heist movie, Retribution, Vacation Friends 2 on Hulu, and Whitebird, A Wonder Story. Those are all the movies hitting in the next couple days. Comics, on the 23rd, we are getting The Immortal Thor. I feel like we've told Thor's story as well, but I guess we need another origin. It looked pretty sweet. The art looked pretty dope, so maybe it's just another excuse to get some cool art out there. Some games that are coming out in the next week. First off, all the games coming out today. We have Brave Bow Archer Princess Rescue Simulator. I'm sure you're all just going to rush right now and download that game on your phone. Chicken Journey is a new platformer. Fort Solace, which we talked about just moments ago, released today. Immortals of Avium. If you have not heard about Immortals of Avium somehow, then you have not been paying attention. It's officially out and doing okay. WrestleQuest got postponed and was released today. Tomorrow, Mirrored Souls is a pretty neat looking puzzler in which you play on both sides of the screen. So pretty interesting the way they put that together. Blasphemous 2 is dropping on the 24th. It's a 2D Souls-like. If you missed the first one, you need to get into it. Brick City is a city builder. Gensha is an action-adventure platformer. Ride 5 is also releasing on the 24th. Moving on to the 25th of August, we have Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, which Buish is very excited for. Bee Island, Elemental Survivors, which is a roguelite, and then Infinity, which is a pretty cool looking puzzler. With that, those are all of the movies, comics, TV shows, and games releasing in the nerd sphere in the next week. Let me know in the comments if any of those found you in a good spot. If you're curious about them, if you want to know more about them, if you plan on playing through them. I'm still curious about WrestleQuest. I'm not big into wrestling, but I love that kind of RPG crunch. Perry, if you're still in the chat, I heard today in a review that they described the combat as being very Super Mario RPG. So I don't know, we'll see. I think it's just in the sense that it is a RPG in which they're, I don't know, real-time fighting. So it's probably turn-based, but also real-time. And maybe that makes it more engaging. I think that might've been what they were going for, but who knows? We'll see where that one goes and if it continues to engage and excite people. I'm probably not going to play it. I really enjoyed Blasphemous, and so I might play Blasphemous 2. And I'm very curious about that Mirrored Soul puzzler. It looked pretty well polished. If it was polished, then sure, I'll definitely give it a shot. I love a good puzzle game. With that, we're going to move into the final of everybody's favorite segments of the show. Meme of the Week. That's right, it is Meme of the Week, and this week's Meme of the Week, if you want to be our Meme of the Week, then you just got to use our Memes and Goofs channel over on the Discord, and I typically take the ones that have the most reactions or get the most reaction out of me. This time, we had one that kind of made the rounds in the nerdy sphere. A band, a video game system, and a book of the Bible. Somebody answered, what is Nintendo? And then, of course, no. And so, yeah, it's not Nintendo. This one cracked me up because we had folks in the Memes and Goofs channel that were like, so what is it? It is indeed Genesis, for those of you that do not remember the Phil Collins classic band. Yes, Genesis, and then Genesis, and then Genesis. Very fun stuff with that one. So that has been our Meme of the Week. With that, we're going to move in to the close of the show. This has been Twig, your weekly, geekly, family-friendly news show delivered live on twitch.tv/checkpointchurch each week at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, keeping your family connected to the world of nerdy news. If you watched this far in the show, you likely enjoyed this one. So remember to give us a 5-star on your favorite podcast reviewing app. Click that like button and recommend the show to your favorite nerds. Folks, if you're in the chat here on Twitch watching live, be sure to say bye to YouTube as we wrap up with our 3 things that we end everything that we do with, because we believe this to be true about every single one of you out there, whether you believe in God, don't believe in God, go to church, don't go to church, hey God, hey church. We still believe these 3 things to be true about every single one of you watching at any point in time. Number 1, believe that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you, like really, really love you. We want community with you. That's what we're doing here. And then number 3, believe that you, yes, you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. All right, until the next time, folks, whether it be live on twitch.tv next Tuesday, or whether it be the next time we post this over on YouTube or our podcast feed, I look forward to seeing you then. Till next time, bye-bye! So here's what I'm thinking, okay? For real offer here. I'm gonna put this maybe at the end of Twig. I'll put this at the end of the episode, okay? If we can get to 100 subscribers on our podcast, we're at 43 right now. If we can get to 100 subscribers on our podcast feed, the Checkpoint Church podcast RSS feed, I will bring actual Twigs to the podcast. There you go. It's been said. The promise hath been decreed. You give me 100 subscribes on this here podcast, and I will make sure that you guys get Twigs. Cool? Deal? Pinky promise? Let's make it happen.